Hey everyone, this is Sekamui, and today I'm going to be doing a 1K Q&A session in celebration of course, 1,000 subscribers. And I just want to thank everyone from the top for supporting this channel over the past month or so. It's been really gratifying to see videos I've made months in the past, getting a lot more exposure on the YouTube algorithm, and I'm really happy to be answering some of these questions today. So I think I've got about 11 questions to answer, and I saw some of them left some really nice comments. I'm gonna be skimming over those, but I just want everyone who submitted a question to know that I read through all of them and I really appreciate all of the kind feedback. And I've got some gameplay footage of Spider-Man Miles Morales playing in the background, so if you get bored at any point during the Q&A, you can always just watch that. And please let me know in the comments if you like how the footage looks, because that means I'll be able to capture more footage directly from the console in the future. So the first question is, do you have a certain YouTuber you enjoy or look up to? So absolutely. One of my biggest inspirations for starting this YouTube channel was Super Eyepatch Wolf, because I really dug the aesthetic of his channel because it matches my own, and it almost feels like his videos are sort of tailor-made for me. More specifically because I like 20 to 40 minute videos about anime, video games, and other subjects, but his content on pro wrestling was awesome and it actually made me more invested in that sport in particular. And his channel specifically inspired me because I sort of saw myself in his videos, and he was the first YouTuber that I watched where I felt that, hey, I can make videos too if I put my mind to it. And having seen a YouTuber that inspired that within me, I just felt compelled to make a video, and that's where it all started. I also want to give a huge shout out to Joseph Anderson because I really enjoy his content, and I also really want to do an in-depth critique of something like Anderson does for an anime, so I'm doing a bunch of research right now to prepare for a video like that in the near future. There are also a few other YouTubers that I really enjoy, and I'm going to leave their names in the description for you to check out. The next question is, what are your thoughts on the reboot boom that's been going on in the anime industry, particularly with Dragon Quest and Shaman King? So I like this question a lot because I don't see it come up often. Personally, I think the surge of reboots in the anime industry is pretty healthy right now. You have your Shaman Kings and your Dragon Quests, but you also have really unique stuff like Devilman Crybaby and Dororo. Not to mention, some of the most respected anime of all time are reboots like Hunter x Hunter and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. As long as studios don't rely on them too much, I think they're a great way to get newer anime fans to revisit classic stories. Personally, I'd really love to see a Yu Yu Hakusho reboot just to give me an excuse to watch it weekly, which I'm probably going to go back and watch the original series anyway. But yeah, reboots, I'm cool with them. Next question is, can we expect videos about mangas or manhwas? So, fun fact, I'm not much of a manga reader, and this is because I really don't like reading things digitally. I seriously need to have a physical book to flip through the pages. However, I've been getting over that hump recently, and I've been reading a bunch of stuff like I Love You and Spy Family, or is it Spy X Family? I have no clue. So I wouldn't say to expect videos about manga and manhwa in the near future, but I'm pretty sure I'll do them at some point once I read more. If you're watching this video, please feel free to leave some suggestions in the comments for what I should read. I'm very much open to anything. Do you have a favorite anime? Yes, my favorite anime is Kill la Kill, with Hyoka coming in as a close runner-up. If we're talking about movies, I'd say A Silent Voice is the king, with Kizumonogatari 3 or Kiki's Delivery Service following up. Did you have any past experiences of any kind, like an old deleted YouTube channel? So there was a period of time where I used to write on a blog with the same name. I'm pretty sure if you Google it, you'll find it. I did similar types of content as I do here. In fact, my videos on game prices is an altered form of an original piece that I did. That's where I ended up getting a lot of writing practice, and I actually have some more recent posts on there from January, February, but I don't update it frequently anymore now that my efforts are put towards YouTube, and a lot of my original content has been taken down, especially because I actually want to use some of them for YouTube video ideas later. In terms of video editing, I don't actually have a lot of experience. I didn't have an old YouTube channel before this, and my Last of Us Part 2 video was my first full attempt at editing a video on my own. I used a lot of YouTube tutorials and online resources to figure out how to navigate video editing software, so every video you see from me is me trying something new and learning from it. Will this channel be anime oriented? Because I looked at your past videos and you seem to cover games. I wouldn't mind either way, content is content. It's funny you ask because I was just thinking about this. The simple answer is Yes and no. For now, it's probably going to lean a little bit more towards anime content, but I do have a few ideas for gaming videos that I'd like to do. One of them, which I'm planning to drop this month. This is getting way ahead of myself too, but if I ever get to a point where I have more subscribers, I want to create a bigger variety of content. My biggest inspiration, as I said before, was Super Eye Patch Wolf because he covers so many different subjects across multiple mediums, and I want to do the same thing for video games, anime, books, movies, tennis, psychology, education. Like, you can name a bunch of different subjects, and there's a good chance that I'd be interested in making a video about it. So for now, I'm playing it a little bit more safe with anime stuff and branching out. But regardless, anime and video games is always going to be a central focus on the channel, no matter what happens in the future. And to be honest, I feel a little bit more in my zone talking about video games since I have more experience with that medium, but I really want to stretch my creative muscles by creating anime content first. What had gotten you into watching anime? So I actually watched a lot of anime growing up, like Pokemon, Sonic X, Kirby, and that horrible 4Kids dub of One Piece. But I didn't know what anime was until middle school. One day in one of my 6th grade science classes, someone turned around and asked me if I was into anime or manga. They showed me their drawings, in which they were really talented, and they told me they were reading something called Rave Master. So I ended up reading Rave Master, which prompted me to watch some of the anime. I ended up moving on from Rave Master to Fairy Tail after I finished it, which occupied my time forever, but it wasn't until 2013 that I started getting into seasonal shows with Attack on Titan and Sword Art Online, so I'd consider that the time where I really got into watching anime. And I know that was definitely a very long-winded response for a simple question, but I hope that it answered it fully. What do you do besides YouTube? Outside of YouTube, I am a full-time student taking classes, but that's not a fun answer at all. So when I'm not video editing, I obviously like watching anime or playing video games, but I also love reading nonfiction and going on long runs or walks. Reading and exercising are really soothing for me in the era of COVID-19. I also love to watch tennis since it's my favorite sport. It's something I used to play, but it's been a while since I picked up the racket. And once COVID-19 is over, I'm going to add that to the checklist. I also recently picked up drawing. I'm still learning a lot, but one of my most recent drawings was I in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen's ending. Figured I'd just put it here as a shameless plug to check out my video on One Direct Priority. That might be the worst show that I've ever done. In the past, you did gaming videos, and I was wondering if you'd return to covering games occasionally along with anime content. Also, were you good in English or language in school? So I answered the first part already, but you put it in much better terms than I did. And the second one is a fun question. I actually used to be a lot stronger in the maths and the sciences, but writing was always more interesting to me. Grade-wise, I think I did pretty well in my English courses, but honestly, I don't think it's a great judge of writing ability because we've all had that one teacher that gives you mediocre or bad grades for no reason and gives their favorite students the A's. I've been on the receiving end of both. And I'd say that I learned a lot more about writing from playing games with great scripts and reading books with strong dialogue. How long did you prepare before making this channel? Did you expect anything to come of it? How long do you typically take to write a script? And what do you use to edit, and have you edited for others in the past? Honestly, I didn't do a lot of preparation before making this channel, which I would not recommend you do just because it's much easier to stay motivated when you have a clear idea of what you want to do. I also underestimated how difficult it can be to edit audio to sound clean, so those earliest videos might sound a bit rough. And I honestly didn't really expect much to come from this YouTube channel, so hitting 1,000 subscribers did shock me, especially since most of you all discovered my channel in the past couple of weeks. A script usually takes me around 2 to 4 days, depending on how many hours I put in. That might seem short, but that's for two reasons. One, my videos are generally between 8 to 15 minutes long, and two, I've mastered the art of writing all my ideas down no matter how bad the sentences are and worrying about editing later. If I had to give a tip to anyone, that would be it. And when I start working on a longer video, I'm positive I'll be spending at least a week minimum getting it ready. And finally, for software, I use Adobe Premiere because I already like to use Photoshop for other things, and I want to learn After Effects in the future. I have not edited for others in the past. Now the final question is, have you ever watched Naruto? And if so, what are some of your thoughts? And if you have any interesting takes on it, I'd love to see a video in the future. So yes, I've seen some of the original series and some of Naruto Shippuden. I was introduced to it by one of my best friends from middle school, and the funny thing is we always used to tease each other like middle school weebs do over whether Fairy Tail or Naruto was better. And in retrospect, I probably prefer Naruto, but hey, we all like what we like. In terms of thoughts though, personally it's not my favorite shonen. I generally enjoy the battle system and the earnestness of Naruto's character arc. His catchphrase, "Believe it," is truly iconic, but it started to fumble around in its later arcs, and I don't like the power scaling that happens. But either way, I really appreciate the way that it got a lot of people interested in anime, and it's clear to me why the series is so beloved by many to this day. If you are curious, my favorite fight is Kakashi versus Obito. And the other thing I'm not a big fan of is long-running series in general. In fact, the reason that I'm pretty familiar with Naruto is because I was a fan of the Ultimate Ninja Storm games. They're some of the best anime arena brawlers around. So I can't say I could offer an interesting perspective on the anime, but I might have something to say about the Ultimate Ninja Storm games. I lost my copies of those games, so I need to repurchase them and replay them from the beginning, but I would consider making a video about whether or not anime video game adaptations are an okay substitute for watching the show. In fact, I'm super curious how the Demon Slayer video game is going to turn out in this regard. And that's all. I had a lot of fun answering these questions, and I'd love to do another Q&A sometime later down in the future. But in the meantime, I want to thank everyone once again for supporting this channel and watching the videos. Of course, I would ask you to like and subscribe, but I am just really happy that I was able to put a video like this out at all. So thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.